defeat you with facts. They just label you dangerous, extremist, radical. And once the label sticks, people stop listening before you even speak. They don't have to they teach you that a revolution happened, but never.
What's happening, people? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Man, I tell you, I don't even know where to start tonight. I have been going back and forth explaining to people, trying to get people to understand usually I'm not really at a loss for words for how I go into certain things, and I've been thinking about it all day. How to even address what's happening, folks. What's happening. I hope everybody has hit the restart button. I hope everybody had an awesome Friday. Really, I hope everybody had an awesome Friday. Hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful week with everything that's going on. But I've had one of those weeks where, like I said, I had to go a little bit to the left, and I had to go a little bit to the right. Especially when it comes to wanting the truth, knowing the truth, and telling the truth. So we've got this guy, right, who worked with Obama. He was Obama's main speechwriter. Okay, so let me do this here. But he was Obama's main speechwriter. And he is a big wig when it comes to politics in Minneapolis. He's if you run for something, if you're going to run for something, or if you're thinking about running for something, you need a door unlocked, you need to talk to the mayor, the governor, or whatever, and all this here type of stuff. Literally, he is the go-to guy. And if you saw this guy when I'm done talking about him, if you saw him, you'll be like, whoa, really? No, really. He knows everything. When I say everything, I'm not joking when I say it. When it comes to politics in Minneapolis, everybody goes to this guy. Everybody talks to this guy. He knew that Tim Walz was going to not run again. This is how deep he is. He knew that. Almost before anybody else knew. He just couldn't say anything. He is the guy. Same thing with Mayor Fry. When Mayor Fry needed something, that's where he goes. That's where a lot of people go. So, and he's a Democrat. He is a strong, I'm talking strong Democrat. Strong Democrat. So I went and I had a conversation with him. Sat down and talked to him. Matter of fact, we went and had breakfast. And during that breakfast talk, He told me point blank, there's going to be a lot more that's going to be coming from this fraud than what has been reported. He said, especially on the autism side of this fraud. He's a Democrat. He is tied. He is literally tied in with them. So if he tells me to be ready, to watch out what's about to come down, I'm going to believe what he says. I'm going to believe exactly what he says. Especially when we hear some of the rumblings that is coming from one community right now. They are scared. They are literally scared because of the certain things that's about to break. So when I say something and I report something, it's not right wing. See, funny parts about this whole thing is when people get into their own camp. When they get into their own little camps, and if you say something about their camp, then you got to be right wing if you're pointing out the fraud and the autism. So now I got a red cap on. If I'm pointing out racism, which I'm going to do tonight, on the Republican side, then I've got a blue hat on. Now I'm a liberal, I'm a whatever you want to call me. Because they can't realize and understand that I call it right down the middle. Ain't got nothing to do with a red hat. You can try to put that on me all you want. You can say that I'm using right-wing talking points all you want. You can say whatever you want to try to pull me down there. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I don't know why somebody would try that. They should know me by now. You're not going to shut me up. And you're not going to get me stopped from talking, especially about something that I know. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So you can call me what you want. That's cool. The thing about this, if we have been down this road, we've been down this road. I've been down this road with Democrats. I've been down this road with Republicans. It's like I always tell people, you don't like what I say? There's this little button on there, and it's called unfollow. Press it. See what happens. You don't have to be triggered by me anymore. But this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is what I'm going to say, whether you like it or not. Like Malcolm X says, if the truth triggers you that much, good. No, seriously, good. If what I say triggers you, good, then something is finally getting through to you. Because usually it don't. They stole money. Those people stole a lot of money from the taxpayers of Minnesota. I don't care what you say. I don't. I really don't. Because I heard it firsthand. They stole a lot of money. They know it. I know it. You may not want to come to grips with it. You may want to keep trying to push it off until election time. I'm not going to. I'm going to talk about it every damn day. You know why? Because the Democrats are not talking about it. The Democrats are not bringing it up. The Democrats are not talking about the fraud. The Democrats are not talking about the money that was stolen. And the Democrats are not talking about the community that stole the money. But I'm going to. So here's my thing to you. If it irks you by me reminding everybody that the Somali community stole taxpayers' money from these United States, There's a button, and it's called unfollow. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. But they stole. Yes, they did. Almost everybody in that damn community. They were signing up kids who did not have autism. And the mom and dad was getting kickbacks. They were going to phony doctors, had nothing, didn't even have a degree, didn't have nothing. And they were getting money. That's what was going on, people. And you can get pissed at me for being the messenger. That's cool. But the bottom line is that they had phony offices. They had phony places. Not only that, but they have also started with the scheme of buying houses and turning those houses into what? Adult daycare centers. In every fashion of life, they have found a way to steal money. They stole from the American people. They stole from the Minnesota people in Minnesota here. They stole. They took money that did not belong to them. If that pisses you off, good. Good. Maybe you will finally go, it wasn't right. It wasn't fair to no one. Don't you know right now there are sinners that need that money that was cut off. And the reason they cut this money off that these other places need, these clinics for autism kids, they've cut that money off. The people who was doing it correctly right now is not getting money. This is a point that y'all are not, nobody wants to talk about it. But there are sinners out there right now that was doing everything they were supposed to do. And because of what the Somali community did, that's what happened. These places can now not get paid. They can't get money to help these kids. The real kids with autism. The real kids who has a problem. The real families, mom and dad, who are struggling. Because of what the Somali community did, this is what's going on. Now, you don't have to talk about it, but damn it, I am. They stole money, people. They robbed Minnesota blind. And then when they got caught, everybody else got caught up in the scheming web that they wove. And now there's kids out there right now who has autism, severe autism. And all of these clinics, all of these daycares, all of these places these kids go is not getting funded because the Somali community robbed that money. That happened. And then you're going to sit and try to fight me over that? Get out of here, man. Go find a tall building and take a long walk. Not playing that crap, man. I'm not playing that crap. Wrong is wrong, man. And we got to call wrong out. It ain't about political party. It ain't about, no, man. No, there are clinics right now that are hurting because of what this group did. Those are facts. If you don't want to know the truth, okay, fine. I'm the last person you need to listen to. I'm the last person you need to listen to. But the only thing you have to do is go hit Google. Google will tell you exactly what I'm telling you right now. There are places right now. Matter of fact, I even put it out on my page of the 2 months ago. Care 11 was talking about this very thing. And they just started looking into this autism situation. And they've already got 2 people that was doing exactly what I just said. One dude is in jail already. They got another person. They stole, man. They ripped off the people of Minnesota. Yes, they did. And in ripping off people of Minnesota, they got in trouble. And now they closed down the funds for all of these places that these kids need help. That's what happened right here in these Minnesotas. And the reason Donald Trump came here at the very beginning, before him and Greg screwed everything up, was to take care of this fraud that was going on in one community. And then they took the IOTS for, I don't know why. Y'all need to ask your guy. Ask him why he took his eye off the prize. Why did he stop going after the fraud? Why did he stop going after the people who's committing the fraud? Why haven't we heard anything about his Justice Department? Haven't said a word, hadn't said nothing. Because he's not doing his job. Know why he's not doing his job? He's up in the middle of the damn night being racist. And y'all know that as well as I do. But here's the funny part about this thing, though. Here's the funny part about the whole thing that's going on today. It's not the first time. And that's why I keep telling people why history is so important. And this is the reason why, as Donald Trump says, he don't like smart people. Because he knows smart people is going to go look at what he says. Smart people are going to go and learn something about history. The people who follow Donald Trump is not going to do that. The people who follow Donald Trump, you know what you're going to do? You're going to listen to what he says, his lies, and you're going to believe it. That's what you do. That's the bottom line. So Ronald Reagan, Republican, is talking to Richard Nixon, another Republican. And Richard Nixon has this phone call recorded. And in this phone call, your great white hope, who is Ronald Reagan, decides to make reference and call black people monkeys. So this isn't the first time that hate speech, racism has come out of the White House. This isn't new. And everybody is acting shocked. This is par for the course. There has been racist in the White House from the beginning. While they were in the White House, they had slaves. While the White House was being built, it was being built by slaves, black folks. So none of this is new. Come on. Here's the problem, people. Instead of us sitting down, and I've said this over and over and over, Instead of us sitting down and having the conversation with the elephant in the room, the problem, we never talk about, the only time we talk about the elephant in the room is times like this, when somebody is mad and upset. But we don't ever really sit down and have a general conversation about the elephant in the room. And we know what that is. Because the minute black people start talking about the elephant in the room, they're victims. Right? That's what you run off and say. Why do y'all always have to be the victim? And that shuts black people down. They be like, well, I ain't trying to be the victim, so I'm not going to talk about it. And then usually when white people talk about it, it's bad, and we have to call you racist. And then you go, well, if you're going to call me racist, I'm not talking about it. So it never gets discussed. And then if I put it out here, first thing somebody says, why do everything have to be about race? Correct? I mean, that's what we do. We, instead of just having the conversation, we come up with ways to shut people down from having the conversation. Oh, well, I don't want my white kid learning about black history that way. But you don't teach your kid about black history at home. Oh, I don't want my kid. That's all my kid ever learn about is white history. About George Jefferson and everybody else and all of this here type of stuff. Well, you don't really teach your kid about white history in your house until we have a reason to crash into each other. And then nothing ever gets done, or nothing ever gets solved, or nothing ever gets really said. We just walk away until the next thing that happens. But I think we can all agree that there were no apes in The Lion King. Correct? I mean, we're not going to agree on anything tonight. But I wanted to start off with something that we can agree on. There were no apes in The Lion King. Correct? Okay. So, white folks, let me explain this to you. And I know you already know it, but you're not going to admit to what I'm saying. So I'm gonna spell it out for you. Again, there was no apes in The Lion King. But to make that video pop the way that they wanted it to make it get your attention the way they wanted it for it to get your attention, they had to add the apes in there. Because, Michelle Obama, y'all had called Michelle Obama. Don't say you didn't, because I was in the... Listen, hold on. Let me, for those who don't know, I spent time with the Tea Party, in the Tea Party, until they got racist. So when I say what I'm about to say, you can't sit there and go, that didn't happen, Rev, because I can tell you it did, because I saw the picture. No. Listen, I saw the picture. So depicting Michelle Obama as an ape isn't new, and y'all know that. Now, again, we're going to have the conversation. And if you want to talk or say something, send me your email. I'll send you this link, and you can add to the conversation. I've always said that. So in order for that video to do what they wanted it to do to you, white folks, they had to add apes. Why didn't they go, you know what? There's no apes in here. Let's make Michelle a giraffe, and let's make Barack what else was whatever else was in the Lion King. Let's not bring apes in here at all. They couldn't do that because the video wouldn't have been effective as they wanted to be. They had to put out that trope. What you don't understand, right? Watch this. Which always have blown my mind. This is always blown my mind. And every time I ask white people, they can never, ever explain it to me. Ever. I haven't had one white person explain this to me. I have been to cookouts, barbecues, whatever you white folks call it. I won't say picnic because if I explain picnic to you, I'm going to explain picnic to you. Barbecue, cookout. When I go to these places, when I'm invited for food, let's just put it that way, which I always think is funny. Almost every place I've been to, white folks invite me. Me and my wife, we show up. We get there. Somewhere on one of those grills, there's chicken. And I know, and I'm sitting there going, well, hold on. I'm looking around, only black man there, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, did they cook all of that chicken for me? Because they think black people like chicken, so they put all of this. No, white folks like chicken just about. I've been to anytime I'm over in Coon Rapids, that the Popeyes line at least 5 cars deep, all white folks. Chicken. But if you hear the trope and you hear the jokes from white folks, it's always black folks with a drumstick in their mouth. Like white folks hate chicken. They never eat chicken in anything. But it's always black folks when it comes to white folks, chicken. Hold on. But the biggest thing that it never fails. Never fails. I go out to these summertime cookouts, barbecues, whatever you want to call it, with white folks, and there's always watermelon. Always. I have never, ever. I'll get my wife down here and she'll tell you the same thing. Because I always point it out. I go, damn, white folks like watermelon too. Isn't that something, dear? But here's the thing about that. Somewhere in the middle, about around the end of that cookout, barbecue, whatever you want to call it, I'll be like, hey, I'm in the mood for a couple more pieces of watermelon, because I'm black. We love watermelon. I go up there. There's strawberries, oranges, grapes, and you know how y'all do. But you know what's empty? There's usually a huge bowl, right? 2 or 3, 4 huge bowls of watermelon. You know that what? It's always empty. Funny, white folks like watermelon too. I always knew it, but anytime y'all try to make a joke about black folks, it's always us. With the watermelon like shape like this, with our big teeth ready to put our face. Why is it that white folks can't admit that they like watermelon? Because every time I go to one of your cookouts, you got watermelon. I ain't the only one that's eat. I take 2, 3 pieces. I go sit down and eat. Somewhere during that time, I go, you know what? I like some more fruit. I go over there. I can get everything else. But those 2, 3 bowls of water, big bowls of watermelon, gone. But it's always white folks. Oh, I can pull it up for you and pull them up. I'll post them for you. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's always that stereotype. Fried chicken, watermelon. And white folks eat just as much as fried chicken as black folks. White folks eat just as much as watermelon and cantaloupe. Any type, honeydew, all of them melons. Y'all eat just as much as we do, but you love to try to put it on black folks. Like we the only one that eat our watermelon the way we do. I put salt. I'm from the South. Yeah, I like that. I like my watermelon, and I like it with. I always put salt on my wife. Just goes nuts when I do that, because number one, I got high blood pressure, but I can't help it. It's just I literally cannot just take a watermelon and just eat it. Like, I can't do that. I can't No, I can't, because I've never really done it. There is not one time you will ever see me eating watermelon that I don't have salt on my watermelon. Now, if y'all want to talk about something about black people do something different, you go down south, especially around my family, when we crack that watermelon open, you better have a salt shaker somewhere around there, or everybody's going to be upset. That's what we do. We put salt on our watermelon. And some of us put sugar on our strawberries. We do. We put, I ain't saying all black folks now. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't say all black folks do this. I know if you go down and you was at a Christopher reunion and you had strawberries, you better have some sugar. If you have watermelon, you better have some salt. That much I know. But that's a stereotype that white folks have labeled black folks with for as far back as I can know, far back as I can remember. And I don't know why. And white folks can't even tell you why they do it themselves. They can't. Not one of y'all can go on my page right now and say, Rev, the reason we have used the watermelon and we have used the fried chicken to make fun of black folks is for this reason. You don't know, but that's what you do. Those are the stereotypes that you have labeled around black folks. And another thing that you laid around black folks is being an ape. And then you sit there and you go, well, why are they upset? Because the president of these what? No, hold on, people. See, because I know what you're going to say. And I knew this was going to happen. That man, like he said, can shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square, and y'all would fall over yourself apologizing for what this man did. This man is up at 1 something at night. And you're telling me a staffer is got his phone, and 1 something in the morning, this staffer that nobody know who he is now, no clue. We don't know. It was a staffer. So this staffer at 1 something in the morning has the phone of the most powerful man in the world. And this staffer decides, you know what? I want to do something malicious. I want to do something just flat out you know what? I haven't done anything racist. So why don't we do that? Why don't we put out this meme? Now, I don't care. Y'all can sit there and you can say, you know, this person was in it, this person was in it, this person was in it, and all that. I know that's what you're gonna say. You're gonna come off that way and all this. I get it. I get it. But I just can't believe that at 1 something in the morning, a staffer is going to have his phone, and a staffer is going to decide that I'm going to take this here crap and I'm going to retweet it. The most powerful man in these United States. That's what we do. And then we turn around and do everything we possibly can do when there's backlash to make it okay. Just like we try to make black folks and chicken okay when you make fun of us with chicken. Just like you try to make it okay when black folks with watermelon, right? Try to make that okay. But here's the thing, again, that blows my mind. What do we do to you guys to where we're literally on your mind 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? I mean, my thought is, don't you got something better to think about? Don't you got something better to do other than come around and just do everything you possibly can do to make our lives hell? Because I literally don't remember the last time that I ever tried to make a white person's life hell. I don't remember that I've ever went just out of my way to make sure that they have a bad day or they're having a bad week or I can make them feel bad at the moment. What in the hell does it take for us to just say, can y'all just leave us the hell alone? To the point to where the president of the United States is so obsessed with this black man that this is what he does? No, he did it, people. Y'all can sit there and act like, staffer did that. They're lying. Because if a staffer did it, you know what? We would know who the staffer was, and he would be walked out the door. But they can't figure out which one they want to pay off to be the scapegoat for something that Donald Trump did. And because of the backlash and when Tim Scott, the bootlicker of bootlickers, the house Negro of all house Negroes. If you don't know what a house Negro is, look up, go look up Malcolm X. Write this down. Write down House Negro Malcolm X. House Negro Malcolm X. And Malcolm X will tell you what I'm talking about when I say House Negro. But I haven't heard anything from the Republican Party of of Minnesota. Haven't heard anything from Kendall Qualls, who thinks if I don't hear something by Monday, a statement from Lisa DeMoss and Kendall Qualls, I'm gonna every single chance I get, I'm gonna be your worst nightmare. I am. By Monday, you got until Monday, Lisa DeMoss and Kendall Qualls, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a couple nights ago, this dude Joe decides to put out this Facebook thing, and on Facebook, he made sure that he let everybody know that the two top vote getters for the Republican Party nominees for governor were black. See, this is what cracks me up now. This is what cracks me up. The very people who always talk about why does it have to be about color, but when they get somebody of color, they try to make sure y'all know it. So he puts this tweet, he put this Facebook post out. And the Facebook post said, and I quote, the two top vote getters for the Republican Party nominee for governor are black. So does that mean, and this is what he says, does that mean we're racist now? That's what he said. That's what he said. And I'm sitting there going, wow. So you got a black man and a half black, because, you know, Lisa is half black. She ain't full black. So I said, you got a 1.5 black, and now you want to start running around Minnesota talking about, look at us, Republican Party, we finally got black people on board? And what people don't realize, especially here in Minnesota, let me explain it to you again. Hold on, let me explain it to you again, how this works. One of the things that black folks says is this: all kin folks is not skin folk. All skin folk is not kin folk. In other words, just because they got skin like me, don't mean we mess with them. We don't mess with Walter Hudson. We don't. We don't. We don't mess with A.K. Kamara. We don't. We don't mess with Lisa DeMoth. We don't. And we sure in the hell don't mess with Kendall. We don't. Yes, they are skin folk, but they ain't kin folks. They ain't somebody that we would invite. We wouldn't invite Kendall Qualls to Juneteenth. We wouldn't invite Lisa DeMoth to Juneteenth. We wouldn't invite A.K. Kamara to Juneteenth. Or Walter Hudson to a Juneteenth party. We wouldn't invite them folks. Yeah, they black folks. But they ain't our type of black folks. See, in order to be in the Republican Party here in Minnesota, you have to assimilate to what they want. You have to be what they want. You got to talk the way they want. You have to completely forget who your culture is. If somebody in your culture gets shot and killed, you cannot, as a black Republican, feel sorry for this person, no matter how it happened. Whether they are a Philando Castile. Walter Hudson, a couple of days ago, I'm watching this video. Walter Hudson sat there and said point blank, George Floyd died of an overdose. In other words, Walter Hudson believes that Derek Chauvin shouldn't even be in jail. So there ain't too many black folks that I know of in Minneapolis that would go along with what Walter Hudson says. Walter Hudson is not of our culture. Even though Walter Hudson looks black, he's not of our culture. A.K. Kamara is not of our culture. Even though A.K. is black, look black. Lisa DeMoth, she don't look black, but she is half black. Lisa is not of our culture. Yeah, I hope y'all understanding what I'm saying here. And Kendall Qualls forces himself not to be of our culture. He's darker than all of them. But he forces himself not to be of the culture. He would rather assimilate with the Republicans, what they think and how they think of black folks, than actually be a black folk. You understand? So when you hear the Republicans tell you, oh, we got black folks over here. Yeah, skin folk in black. And skin only. Not culture. Not kinfolk. Skin only. Walter Hudson couldn't come out. He would. But he would come out and he would find something else in that video to talk about, so you can throw off, just like when he made that video of Alex. Everything Walter talked about in his little video he made was to let us know that he takes the side of the police. That's what that was all about. At the end of the day, if you saw his video, listen to it, and then sit back and think. It was, I am on the side of the video. I'm on the side of the police. That's the stance Walter takes. Walter takes the stance when that cop jumped in the car and killed that black man while the car was going up, the state trooper here in Minnesota. When the Republican Party bust all those white folks into Hennepin County, into down, Walter Hudson, a black man, put on one of those brown shirts because Walter felt more comfortable with their culture than he did the black culture. You understand what I'm saying? So in skin, Walter is black. Underneath, in culture, he has nothing to do with black people. Nothing. Same thing with Lisa Dumas. So I'm waiting for the Republican Party here in Minnesota, somebody from the Republican Party, to make a statement. To say that what the president did was not right. And it wasn't, people. That was not right. Why wasn't it right? Again, because of the stereotype white people. Y'all did this. White people put on black people when it comes to, oh, we look like apes. Oh, look at them swinging from a tree. That's what Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon had a talk about. Black folks being monkeys swinging from trees. The president of the United States was talking to the future president. Ronald Reagan was the governor of California at the time. So the president of the United States was on the phone with the future president of the United States, calling black folks monkeys. That's a fact. Look it up. And fast forward to the president now, he decides to retweet a video of the only black president, the only black first lady, predict and put them as apes. If someone done that to Melania, y'all would lose your day. Not Trump. Let's put Melania in as one of them little what's some little monkeys, them little albino looking monkey. You ever seen those white looking monkeys? Why don't we do that with Melania? Y'all would lose your damn mind. Y'all went crazy because the man had a tan suit on. You know how many tan suits I got? 3. Y'all got mad at this man for having a tan suit on. Ever since they said segregation now and segregation forever, there's been a group of people on the right who believes in that. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I know what that damn flag means. I know what it means. And y'all know which flag I'm talking about. But you got people who sits there and say that this flag is about heritage. That's a damn lie, and y'all know it. That flag ain't got no more to do about heritage than anything, because that wasn't the flag they was flying when they was sitting there fighting to go to war. It wasn't. It's just like you're adding apes to a video, to a Lion King, and Lion King don't have no apes. There was no apes in Lion King. Just like the Confederate flag now. They wasn't carrying that flag at the beginning. They added it, yes. But at the beginning, that's not what this was about. But all of a sudden, that flag became about heritage. You know when it became about heritage? When they wanted to scare black folks. When they wanted to ride through black folks' homes and had the little hats on all the mask over their face. That's when it became about heritage. When it became about hate. But then y'all act like we're not supposed to talk about this stuff. But you let it keep going. If everybody would have came out today and said, President, you're in the wrong. Man, do you know how awesome that would have been for us finally moving in a different direction than the direction that we're in right now? And it's always funny to me. Every time I see some right-winger, and that's who it usually is, put up in their tweet out, when did racism start? And you know what? Almost everybody in this fool's tweet, they put Obama. Really? So racism wasn't going on. I'm just going to go back to when I was born. So when I was born, and my mom could not go to the top floor. I had to be born in the basement. That wasn't racism. So it wasn't racism when my mom and dad went to pick burgers up and they had to go around to the back. That wasn't racism. It wasn't racism when on Wednesdays was the only time black folks could go to the Memphis Zoo. That wasn't racism. Oh, it wasn't racism that when they finally start saying black people can go to these here city pools at the same time, that they actually filled the pool up with concrete so nobody could. That wasn't racism. Wow. I wonder what you call that. Just that's how you wanted it. That must be what it is. It wasn't racism when Ronald Reagan lied to everybody and said the welfare queen was black. It wasn't racism when Ronald Reagan was selling crack and cocaine to the black community out of the backside of the White House, but Nancy Reagan was in the front going, say no to drug. That wasn't racism. It wasn't racism when Ronald Reagan closed down all of the hospital, all of the places you can go get help for drugs, and literally flooded the black community with drugs. That wasn't racism. It wasn't racism that in 83 and 84, Ronald Reagan had the crime bill, the 83 and the 84 crime bill, and that crime bill said if you had crack and you had cocaine, you go to jail longer for the crack, but it takes cocaine to make the crack. That's not racism. You're telling me the Willie Horton ad that the Bush daddy put out? Wait a minute. Are you telling me that ad wasn't racist? That Willie Horton ad? Wow. And you're sure that it wasn't racist when Barry Goldwater decided to use the Southern strategy, and that's what flipped, and that's what made the last stance for black folks being in the Republican Party, and they switched over to the Democrats because the Democrats was willing to sign the Civil Rights Bill, and the Republicans was like, we ain't giving them Negroes nothing. That's not racism. So racism started when the first black man moved into the White House. That's racism started right then and there. So those little kids in New York that was gonna go see the parade, and then they got jumped by that mob of white people, and they beat those kids up. That wasn't racism, really. So James Byrd, the black man that was caught by these three white men, and then they chained him up to the back of the car, his truck, and they drug him down this gravel road, and they had to recognize him by the pieces. That wasn't racism, really. So Forsyth County, look it up. Look up Oprah. Look up Oprah Winfrey. No, look it up. Oprah Winfrey, Georgia, Forsyth County. Look that up. So you're telling me all of them white people that was standing outside saying black folks can't even come into their city? This is in the 80s. Go look it up. Look up Forsyth County, Georgia. Then I want you to type in Oprah Winfrey and then hit enter and see what comes up. So that's not racism. Forsyth County. And that very county that burned down black folks' house and shooed all of them black folks out of there and took over their businesses, they took over their homes, they took over their lands. That's not racism? Are you telling me Lake Lanier, Georgia, where they flooded? Look it up. No, look it up. You're telling me Lake Lanier, Florida, Georgia, Lake Lanier, Georgia, where they literally flooded a black town, and there's a lake there right now, and that lake is haunted, that people have died on that lake over and over and over again because they believe it's haunted because what they did to the black people? That wasn't racism? That wasn't racism. It was when Barack Obama moved into the White House. I just want to know, what is it going to take for y'all to leave us the hell alone? I guess that's where I'm at. Y'all don't want to have the talk. You don't want to deal with racism. You don't want to hear about racism. You don't want to hear about injustice. You don't want to hear about fair things unfair. You know, DEI that literally help white women versus black women. You just want to get rid of that. You got a president who's literally tearing down anything eraser of black history all around, all together. You lied about CRT and all of this here other type of crap that went down. What will it take for y'all to just leave us alone? I'm at that point now. I'm at that point. Let us be on our own. If we're gonna be a demise, if we're gonna kill each other, shoot each other, if they're gonna be, like to say, you know, abortions here and all of this here type of stuff, and if we want to stay on the Democratic plantation and all, you know, the whole nine that we hear, all this here stuff. What is that? So you never have to talk about us, never have to worry about us, never have to think about us. The whole nine. What is it gonna take? Because it just seemed to me you can't do it. You literally can't do it. You literally cannot sit there and go, we're not going to talk about black people no more. We're not going to say anything about black people no more. We don't care what the blacks do. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to and be done with it. Hey, what's happening, John? There he is. What's going on with you tonight? Because, again, the problem is we don't sit down and we don't talk about the elephant in the room. We don't. Until something like this happens. Until something like this here comes about or something like goes down. And then we don't even talk about it then because we can't get over the fact that there's got to be certain things that's got to be said. It just has to be. But I'm going to say it again. I'll be flat out with you. I mean, you got every right to have your opinion on that video that just came out, and I've got every right to have my opinion. It was racist to the core. I mean, the only things that's left, I feel, for Donald Trump to do is charge tickets to go to the White House to watch Birth of a Nation. That's the only other thing that he could do, and even that wouldn't surprise me. Charge people $10, like when he's talking about having the UFC or whatever. When he's talking about having the UFC fight, for him to literally play that movie, if you have never seen it, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, I suggest you again. Y'all need to be writing this stuff down. I'm giving you homework. Go look up this movie. It's called The Birth of a Nation. Done in 1930-something. And basically, it's telling every white woman to be afraid of black men. That's what it's about. And then the Ku Klux Klan come to the rescue, right? And this white woman has a choice to make. All right? If you have never seen it, I'm not going to tell you the end. I'm not going to tell. I want you to go watch it yourself. But in this movie, if you watched it and you didn't get what actually was going on, the part you need to understand is this white woman had a choice to make. And I want you to look and think about the choice that this white woman, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But this white woman had a choice to make. That's what this is somewhat about. The choice that this white woman had to make. I want to tell you, but I want you to, if you know what it is, you know what I'm talking about. If you saw it and you didn't understand what it was about, that's what that is about. It's called The Birth of a Nation. It's the one that was shot in 1930-something. Not the newest one, but the one that was shot in 1930-something. Go watch that video. That video is as bad as it is, as racist as that video is, was shown in the White House. Listen to me. It was shown in the White House. I would not be shocked if Donald Trump showed that video in the White House and charged $10 a head for y'all to come sit in the White House or on the White House lawn and watch that video with him. That would not shock me at all. It would not. It'd be right on time, right on par for him to do something like that. And I guarantee you that it would be standing room only to get to the White House to watch that video in the White House. I promise you, as racist as that video is, y'all people, it'd be four-wheelers and monster trucks and everything else pulling up to the White House. I'm just telling you point blank the way it is, man. I am not beating around the bush. I don't beat around the bush at all. But today was one of those days that everybody needed to sit back and really, really think about where are we going as a people? Where are we going as a nation? Just where are we going? And people in Minnesota, they need to sit back and go, where are we going as just people in Minnesota? Because Minnesota got its racist history. Go watch. No, here, write this down. Like I said, I that's why I give you guys things to go look at. I don't want to sit here and I talk about things and you go, well, where did you get that from? It's called Jim Crow North. Go to either Netflix or you can go to YouTube. YouTube is free. It's called Jim Crow North. It's about Minnesota. It's about how racist the state of Minnesota was and is. Go look it up. It's called, again, Jim Crow North. Go look it up for yourself. I ain't telling you something. Again, everything that I've told y'all tonight, you can look it up and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Just because I said, don't mean it's meant. Just because I said, don't mean it's meant. But I'm sitting back and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Kendall Qualls. He got until Monday to put out a statement on that video. And Lisa DeMoss, she got until Monday to put out a statement on that video. If not, boy, I would not come to Hennepin County. I would not. Let me make sure you understand what I just said. I would not come to Hennepin County. I wouldn't. I need a statement from them two. I'll be talking come Monday. Come Monday at 7:00. I'm going to use my whole hour to talk about just them two. Just them two. Anyway, fam, I'm out of here. I'm done. I appreciate you. I don't know if I got to call Don and see if Don is even going to do a show tomorrow. Because, Don Allen usually does a show on Saturdays at 9:30 in the morning, which I always tell him that's kind of a little early for me. It's kind of a little early for me, but I'll get up to do his 9:30 show. So I don't know if Don Allen's going to be doing his show this Saturday or not. If he does, I will make sure that I click over and make sure you guys come and hang out with us over there too. It's called Black News. Don Allen, his show is Black News. And we talk about everything black around Minnesota and wherever else. It doesn't matter. But mainly it's Minnesota. But y'all have a good night. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me again, like always. I thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. Peace. What? Oh, I actually thought the wifey was going to come say something to me, but she came down and told me my mom is on the phone. Mom is in Fayetteville, North Carolina, so I got to go talk to mommy. Y'all have a good night. Always remember, put a smile on your face and then go smile at somebody so they can smile back at you. Y'all have a good night. Peace, fam. I'm out.